The foundation of any great football team begins not just with the marquee signings, but with the disciplined integration of youth. And right now, the talk around Old Trafford is heavily focused on this crucial bridge between the academy and the first team. Steam. Ahead of a critical match, reports have confirmed that Lisandro Martinez and Kobbie Mainoo are both set for inclusion back into the Manchester United squad. A welcome boost at a time when we absolutely need all hands on deck. So this immediate return to fitness for key players signals a growing depth, but the bigger story is the philosophy being applied to the next generation. Ruben Amorim, it seems, is not rushing anyone, particularly after his comments on managing the jump from under-21s to the pressure cooker of the Premier League. His management style, described as softly, dictates that youngsters must first cope with the intense training load and speed of the senior side, emphasising that training itself is hard. But the competitive pressure of a Premier League match is exponentially harder. He wants to ensure that players like Shea Lacey, who is set to be on the bench, are truly ready, not just thrown into the deep end. This sensible, slow-burn approach is designed to cultivate longevity, contrasting sharply with previous eras where player readiness seemed secondary to immediate necessity. This measured approach to youth integration seems to extend to players slightly further along their development path, as evidenced by the potential loan move for Diego Leon. It makes complete sense to send out young talents who genuinely deserve consistent first-team minutes to gain experience and further their career, just as Harry Armas is doing well during his loan spell. The focus remains on players getting that vital exposure to men's football to ensure they return to the club better equipped to compete. However, Amorim's broader commentary on the academy has raised a few eyebrows, suggesting that the standards of preparation, specifically nutrition, may have slipped in recent times. He noted that the first team staff are paying much more attention to the academy now, ensuring that basics, like nutrition, are in place. This strong focus on professional behaviour and preparation hints that the new regime under Ineos is actively addressing fundamental issues to restore the academy to its former status as a true production line of Premier League talent, rather than just a place where standards were allowed to decline. And the goal is to bring through players who can not only break into the first team, but have genuine, lasting careers at the top level. Shifting gears to the senior squad, the transfer rumour mill is always churning, but this week the spotlight is firmly fixed on two of the club's highest paid veterans, Casemiro and Harry Maguire. Fabrizio Romano has provided clarity on their situations, suggesting that their future hinges on a strategy the club is applying to both players, who are currently contracted until 2026. While the club's desire is to keep them, it must be on different conditions. Which is the polite way of saying the current salary structure is unsustainable for players in their situation. The financial implications are staggering. Casemiro, currently on enormous wages, would need to accept a significant pay cut, potentially dropping from around £300,000 per week to closer to £130,000, according to some reports, if he is to remain part of the long-term plan. For players at this stage of their career, especially those with lucrative offers on the table from MLS or the Saudi Pro League, this decision will be monumentally difficult. The club faces a philosophical dilemma. While both players are experienced, seasoned professionals who contribute to the leadership group and can aid the cultural transition, they are also part of the squad that has failed to deliver titles. We must decide where the line is drawn between valuing experience and making the necessary, ruthless changes to move forward. The constant back and forth concerning Casemiro and Maguire's contract extensions has become tedious, and the need for a definitive decision, one way or the other, is growing urgent as the club seeks to reshape its financial and playing future. This need to reshape is most evident in the transfer strategy for the midfield. Romano has underlined that Manchester United are ready to invest heavily in this area in 2026, with the aim of completely reshaping the core of the team. The perennial targets Carlos Baleba and Elliot Anderson remain on the list, with the possibility of one or even two signings depending entirely on sales and, crucially, Casemiro's decision. This is where the club's priorities become crystal clear. If retaining Casemiro means sacrificing the opportunity to bring in two younger, high-potential midfielders like Anderson and Bleber, then the decision should be simple. Thank Casemiro for his service and move on. While there are understandable question marks over Bleber's current form and his reported £100 million-plus valuation, the excitement surrounding Elliot Anderson is widespread. He is considered the kind of player who has the necessary makeup to be a cornerstone of the United midfield for the next decade. However, the newest and most intriguing development is the aggressive pursuit of João Gomes. From Gomes from Wolves. Reports from reliable sources suggest that United have effectively communicated their interest to Gomes to see if he bites at the bait, effectively testing his desire for a move. Dean Jones's analysis suggests that Gomes has had his head turned by the attention, despite Wolves' staunch public stance that the player is absolutely not for sale. United appears to be employing a tactic to gain player buy-in, believing that Gomes may become more attainable than other players on their short list, with a potential price tag of £50 million being circulated. This is a crucial, strategic move. If United can secure Gomes for a lower fee than the valuation placed on Bleber, they could then pivot to acquiring Elliot Anderson in the summer. A midfield partnership of Gomes and Anderson is one that would be highly complementary, offering both defensive bite and creative distribution, forming a strong young core for the foreseeable future. In contrast to these aggressive midfield moves, reports concerning other attackers seem less likely to materialise in January. Untold Semedo, a player highly rated by Amorim, is reportedly not an immediate target, with the club happy with the current attacking depth provided by players like Hodgland and Mbeumo. While Semedo was certainly on the radar last summer, the current lack of a pressing need and the rumoured presence of Liverpool as frontrunners for his signature makes a January move unlikely, barring an unforeseen major injury. Similarly, the continuous links to Karim Adeyemi from Borussia Dortmund feel more like classic agent talk designed to drum up interest for a new contract or a summer bidding war. Despite strong reported interest from United and talks involving his agent, Jorge Mendes Dortmund's valuation of over £61 million, potentially rising to £75 million, coupled with Adeyemi's reported preference for a move to Arsenal over United, makes this transfer look less and less probable. The club is wise to pivot their attention elsewhere. If the valuation is too high for a player struggling for form, choosing to focus on the more attainable and strategically vital midfield targets. Ultimately, the focus remains on the core, building a prepared youth team, making tough financial decisions on senior players, and most critically, securing the dynamic midfield pair that will define the club's success in the coming years.